Hi, it's Kevin Neufeld here. I just wanted to talk quickly about a thing called problem questions. And problem questions are these little questions we ask to get a client to actually acknowledge a need. So problem questions do two things. One is they help uncover problems or dissatisfactions, concerns that clients may be having with their financial services that they have elsewhere, or just with different financial matters that they're going through. The other thing problem questions do is they get the client to acknowledge the problem. And that's key, and that's what makes them so effective. See, what we see out there is a lot of people are very, very good at spotting the need. They spot the potential problem, the opportunity as we call it. By the way, an opportunity for us is usually a problem for your client, but that's another thing. Problem questions, what they do is they uncover those needs. They get them out in the open. So I'll give you an example. Say we had a person in paying a credit card bill. They got a really high balance, they're paying a lot of interest, they're making minimum payment every month. Most people are pretty good at spotting that as a need. In their head they go, you know, that person probably needs to talk to somebody about a consolidation loan. And you know what, they're probably right. Here's the challenge. They aren't the client. The client is the one that's going to make the decision. So we got to get their input, and that's where problem questions come in. Problem questions effectively are going to take that challenge that we think they have, and we're just going to turn it into a question and get their opinion on it. So how do you come up with a good problem question? Well, you actually ask yourself two questions, and that'll help you formulate the basis of your question. So the questions you want to ask is, one, if it was me in that scenario I see my client going through, what would compel me to want to hear about a product? Like, what would have to be going on in my world? What problem would I have to have for me to actually reach out and ask for help? The other thing you can ask, and this is the case if the clients have products elsewhere, you ask yourself, well, if I had my products elsewhere at another financial institution, what would compel me to want to switch? What would have to be going on at that other FI for me to feel like, you know what, I got to get out of here and I got to move into someone else? So let me give you an example. That what we just talked about, credit card, high balance, lots of interest, minimum payment. If it were you or I, we'd probably be thinking, you know, wow, I'm paying a whack of money every month in interest. That's it's alarming how much I'm giving the credit card company. Or we might just be worried about getting out of debt. I mean, the credit card companies have put that right on the statement now, haven't they? Actually said, you know, wow, you keep at this pace, it's going to take you 15 years to pay this off. So you just ask yourself those questions. If it were me, what would I be worried about? Would I be worried about anything? And that serves the basis of your problem question. So if we wanted to target the worry about being able to pay it off, we're simply going to ask the client if they're worried about paying it off. We might point to the 15 years on the statement and say, hey, listen, is that a concern of yours, that it's going to take that long at this rate to pay that off? See what I mean? I'm just getting their opinion on it. That's all I'm doing at this point. If it was the interest rate we wanted to target, we would simply just ask them, you know, wow, that's a lot of interest you're paying there. Are you okay with that? Again, it's just the whole purpose of a problem question is to find out whether there's something there. We want the customer's take on the situation before we come riding in telling them how great we are and how much we can help them. So get good at problem questions. If you get good at these, it'll radically change your sales, because you'll start talking to people who are actually interested in hearing about your products, and more importantly, you'll probably stop talking to people about your products who don't have a need, who don't have a problem.